Hello, this is Vaping Lou Guru coming out to you from Staten Island, New York. Today we're going to talk about a little brief description on MAH, milliamp hours, volts, watts, ohms. These are the kind of things that you'll hear on upcoming videos when we talk about devices, for example. And some people may be, well, what is this all about? I don't understand what he's talking about. So we're going to have a very brief description explaining what these terminologies are, okay? With milliamp hours, basically what it is the amount of time you can get out of a battery. For example, this is a little Ego battery, 800 milliamp hours, or 800 mAh as other people refer it to. That's the amount of time you can get from vaping. Where a device like this you may get, for example, 4, 5, 6 hours, depends on your vaping habits, right? A device like this that has 3 18650 rechargeable batteries in it, okay, that are 3000 milliamp hour each. That's 9000 mAh. You could, depending again on your vaping habits, you can get a day, 2 days out of this. Depends on what you have, what kind of tank or atomizer you have on this device, right? Now, volts. When it came down to volts in the early days of vaping, everybody knew that, okay, a voltage device, usually you kept it between 3.5 to 4.2. That would be like the sweet spot. Some people complained, oh, it's tasting burnt. You have it up too high, okay? Devices would have little settings, all right, where you could bring up the voltage on the device. So people, or maybe it's not powerful enough. It's not producing enough vapor. You need to bring it up a little bit. That was when we dealt with voltage. Today's devices deals with mainly, okay, the power output, wattage. All right, wattage, voltage, wattage, and ohms all meld together, okay, into what's called Ohm's law. Okay, wattage is the power that the device can handle. You'll hear people say, "Oh, this is a 200 watt device, so this is a 40 watt device." Okay, depending on the kind of coil, okay, the heating element, that what deals with ohms, the resistance. Okay, the amount of resistance you have in a coil. Okay, for example, this is a coil, okay? How it's built, okay? There's also internal coils on tanks, which you'll see inside there, a little wicking device. The amount that heats up, okay? The resistance. So the lower the resistance, common sense, the more power it requires. Okay, low resistance, there's less resistance against it. Okay, so now when you're using low resistance, it requires higher voltage or higher wattage, higher amount of power. Okay, so they all meld together, they all mix into each other. So today's devices, luckily, everything is kind of, the mathematics is kind of done for you, because when you're dealing with a coil, and ultimately a coil is what's in a tank, and that is the most important thing when you really think about it, because that heating element is what heats up your e-liquid and vaporizes. Okay, the battery is what gives the current. Okay, you press it and it heats up the heating element. Okay, so today, most of the time when people come in, they're going to deal with watts. Okay, what kind of wattage device you have, okay, and the kind of coil or the kind of ohms, the resistance that's required for it. Okay, they all mix into each other. Okay, the heating element at the end is the most important part of the vape experience, because it's what's going to vaporize your liquid, what's going to give you that cloud production, and that's exactly how it works when you press that button. Okay, heats it up, and there you go. Okay, now, so when you hear future videos and people will be, or I will be referring to what kind of wattage device this is, you'll understand. When people talk about what kind of mAh, milliamp hours, that you know is the amount, the duration amount that you'll get out of a battery. Okay, what kind of ohms or what kind of resistance, that's the strength and power, the resistance of the coil. Okay, basic. All three work together to give you the vaping experience. Okay, so now remember to watch my next video. We will be talking about devices, and from beginner level all the way up to advanced level in devices. Okay, so therefore remember to keep vaping and vape safe.